And we're on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Ladit Akera podcast. Today we have a special guest. Every week, we try to get people on. This man is an entrepreneur, graduated from the same high school as I did, and he just, elevated after high school. Did not want to work for himself. So he said, did not work for anybody else. He said, might as well, let me do it for myself. Ruben Ramirez, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's an honor, man. Especially you're one of digital's legends, man. So definitely an honor, brother.
Nah, man, the honor's all mine, man. I appreciate you for doing this, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, how you been, man? Talk to me. How you been? How you been holding on? What's going on in life?
I mean, right now, I've been working my ass off. Cause maybe 2 years ago, I was more overweight, and now I'm like trying to slim down even more. And right now I'm trying to prepare for basically a marathon. I'm gonna run a whole marathon by I think it's the Baltimore Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to complete it. I think 2019, I tried it out, but I only finished half of it, like 13.1. But now this year I want to actually train for it, like be consistent with it and like go for it.
How long is the Baltimore Marathon?
It's 26.2 miles.
Oof, 26 miles.
Yeah, man.
Look, man, as much running as I did in my days, I don't think I'm trying to run 26 miles, man. Let's look at Baltimore. Let's see, man. I don't know, man. That's a brave one, bro. I gotta tell you that. That's very brave. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, it's October of this year, October 9th. Yeah, man. Oh no. You can have that. You can have that on your own. I can't see myself running for no 2 hours because they say here the record is 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Yeah, that's like you've been doing that for your whole life, man. For me, honestly, I'm just trying to finish it.
Yeah, so that's just the goal of yours, right? That's just something that you have wholehearted and wanted to do.
Yeah, right now, I'm mostly playing soccer, and like a month ago, just mostly weightlifting. But right now, it's mostly I have to get in that condition of like running long distance.
Yeah,
and I'm a big dude too, so it's kind of hard, running long distance.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, you can definitely get in there. Like, most important thing about everything is just consistency. You feel me? If you can stay consistent with it and, having a proper diet and getting enough sleep, that's not something hard that you won't be able to accomplish. You feel me? So just like say training here and there and getting that strength in, because you can run all day, but if you're not in the weight room, you're not gonna have that strength to get there. And end of the day, it's going to be all about your mindset. You feel me? If your mindset is, hey, I'm going to finish this no matter what, then body would just literally follow. You feel me? Your body would just follow because the mind is stronger than the body, because the body's going to give up on you any given time. And if your mind and heart like, no, man, let's go. Well, I have to do this. Then you're going to do it. Body just going to follow. So talk to me about Rubens, man. What is Rubens?
Man, Rubens, man, we're about to go into this October. We're about to go into a 4th year of business. It's actually very like emotional because I started this restaurant when I was 19 years old, man. I was basically fresh out of high school. I dropped out of college and I was just like, at one point I was just like, man, I'm just, because I was working with Jonathan, because you also had him in the podcast too.
Yeah.
And he was telling you about he used to work at a furniture store, Ashley's Furniture. So he brought me in too, and I was making decent amount of money for my age. I mean, I eventually got my own car. I was going to school, and life was good, but it was at that point where I was comfortable, you know.
Mm.
I was comfortable, and I mean, I had everything. I had some money saved up. I had my own car. I had a girlfriend at the time, and it just seemed chills. But something in me, like a burning desire or something like that in me, it was just like, I need something more. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not meant for this, you know. So just one day, I ended up like quitting my job, like dropping out of college, you know, and like next day I texted my girlfriend at the time. I was like, hey, I don't want to be together anymore, you know. so,
Mm.
so I just dropped everything, man, you know.
So you broke up with every single body.
Yeah, man,
Damn.
like it was just something that I needed to do, and then I didn't know where was I going, but
Mm.
I just knew I had to do something with my life, you know. And so what I started out first was because when you want to create a business, you ask yourself what you want to do, you know.
Yeah.
Um, the first thing that popped up in my mind was, what am I good at, you know?
Exactly.
What am I good at? And the one thing I was good at was graphic designing, and I learned
Yeah.
that from Digital Harbor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even really that like great at it, but I just knew how to do it, you know. And then my dad, he had this like Spanish radio that he does on the side too,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows a lot of Latino owned business owners, and
Mm-hmm.
most of them were like restaurants too.
Yeah.
So, and I knew like restaurants at the time, their menus look very like bad representation
Mm-hmm.
for the restaurant. It was like very old designs, like very crappy designs.
Yeah. Pretty
And
much. Yeah.
I saw like a problem I can solve there, you know. Like I knew something about designing, you know, and it's how it's supposed to look like. So that's how I started my own first business, designing menus for restaurants for the for Latino community. That's
Mm-hmm.
how it started out, and like we will offer them different pamphlets and stuff like that. And then eventually, like my dad and came up to me and told me we should buy this restaurant. You know, we should buy this
Mm.
restaurant, and at it's a local. I think it's a Upper Fells Point area. You know, around there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like this lady was offering us to buy her business, and at the time I was very naive, and I didn't know anything about business like that, you know. I just knew I had to make money. That's it, right? That's all.
You wanted that fast turnaround.
Yeah, I wanted that fast turnaround, and basically, well, I know now is that I bought basically her idea, you know, her
Yeah.
concept of her restaurant, you know. Um, but what I saw at like age 19, I saw like all the equipment, stuff like that, the building. That's what I thought was like, we bought it for like 15K, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that for me, it was like, wow, like this is like lowballing it, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, it was the lease. When you lease a business, they let you
Yeah.
rent like all the equipment, stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
didn't know that. So the when I when I when I when I used that 15K, it wasn't the equipment, it was just an idea, you know. So like,
Mm-hmm.
and then the food that we're serving there, it was very completely different. It was like very Central American, and then I didn't know how
Mm-hmm.
to cook Central American food at all, so I needed to like
Mm-hmm.
figure that out, you know. But long story short, that business was like gradually like going down. It was eventually going to go bankrupt, you know.
Mm.
And then it was just it was a tough time for me because it was just like it was my first business, my actual first business, and it's going down. In the meantime, I'm still doing like designs for like restaurants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the actual business of designing and stuff actually like hold up the restaurant that me and my dad bought.
Right.
Um, but this is around like October 2017, I think. Yeah, October 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and this is when me and John, my cousin, we went ahead and saw the location where we're currently at right now at Ruben's Hill.
Yeah.
Um, but it was for lease, and a long time ago, my dad used to have the same location at this exact same spot,
Right.
and then we saw the place for lease again, and I can't I remember because me and John used to work at late night there, and
Yeah.
we know all the back ends of it, like how we can handle all the drunk people and stuff like that. So so we know exactly what to do, you know. So
Yeah.
what,
Makes sense.
soon as I saw that place release, I knew who to call. It was my cousin Jonathan, because we have this chemistry, man. Like it's unbelievable, man. And like, well, we basically grew up together, and he was the
Mhm.
first person I called, and then eventually that's how we opened up Rubens, man. Like,
That's how Rubens took off.
yeah, that's how Rubens started out, man.
That's dope, man. I love that idea. So pretty much the entrepreneurship always been in your family. You know, it's something that you was already born into. You know, like you said, from your father having his own little spot, DJing music and stuff like that, and then as well as bringing you into the business as a 19-year-old, working for him, because that's very very young. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
That's compared, like, say, maybe we'll say 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when you was 19, and then versus into now, where now somebody can just pick up a camera at 5 or at 10 and say, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, I got my own business, I'm here right in my face. But back then, social media it existed, but it wasn't at this level of how immaculate it is right now, versus where you are just literally one click, one video, one shoot, one skit of blowing up like never before. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's different, and I can see like your history of building up, because when I heard that you guys opening the business, I'm like, who and who? I said, who? So you feel me?
Yeah.
I was excited, but I'm like, oh, for real? So yeah, so then once I came back from school and I started coming around, I was like, yo, they actually serious. You feel me? Because when people, sometimes people talk, but then it's not about people talking. It's I didn't see it with my own eyes, so it was hard to believe. So then, but then when I saw with my own eyes, I was like, yo, that's dope. You feel me? That's always been dope. So what do y'all serve down there, man? I know I already had Jonathan on, and he talked about, but what should I say? Okay, tell me what's your favorite thing on the menu.
For me, right now, what's selling the most right now, and what everyone's going for, is the Cali burrito.
Yeah.
It's basically like homemade fries with fresh guacamole, steak,
Uh-huh.
and Mexican cheese, and then our signature ranchito sauce. It's really good, man. I recommend it.
That's what you would recommend for. Okay, all right, cool. So where do you see Rubens in the next couple of years? Let's say it's 2021. Before that, did COVID? What did COVID do to you? Did COVID help you out, or did COVID all like a lot of it's sad to say, but it's the reality we're living in. COVID affected a lot of companies in the downtrend. A lot of companies then foreclosed. A lot of companies closed. All their life savings was on there, and they can't open no more. So, what side effect did COVID have on you guys?
Well, first I want to say that I'm blessed to actually still being having the doors open, and still serving our customers, and like still having employees out right now, because COVID was really hard for us, because it was funny, because like we just came from a business conference right before COVID hits, and then
Yeah,
at first I thought this would just last like maybe a couple months, but because we were really like coming from like our slow months are from like
yeah,
January to like February, and then COVID actually hit like around March, So
Yeah.
like it hit us when slow and then extra slow. So
Mm-hmm.
it hit us big time. But for me, I'm like a growth addict, man. Like if we're not growing, man, I get depressed, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I get depressed because I'm always trying to grow in every aspect, you know?
Yeah.
And and then and then for my business not to grow, that really made a whole toll on me. I honestly I was very depressed, and then I was going through like a huge self-reflection of myself, you know. What I
Yeah.
did was I had to like put the business to a side and focus on myself. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when I started doing like these new fitness goals, you know, because I was really isolated from the fitness, my fitness lifestyle. Um, so this is the COVID actually made me become more of an athlete now than I was before, and it taught me like a lot of details, that a lot of reminders to stay humble and
Mm-hmm.
to keep working and keep being disciplined when it comes to your business and your personal growth. So but yeah, like we had to cut a couple people.
Mm-hmm.
um I had to put in some more hours. Me and Jonathan had to put hours in the restaurant.
Yeah.
um like we had to cut some costs of like a lot of we just did a lot of shaving with our bookkeeping. So like it was just a lot of and then I came up with a new menu. It just, I mean, for me, honestly, like I, I, COVID was a blessing in disguise. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly when you go through your hard times is when you find out like the better things. You know, um, so like before you can like you can make like 2 steps forward. You have to take like 5 steps backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So what would you say, like, what was the highest moment for y'all in COVID, and what was the lowest moment for y'all during COVID?
For me, it was right now it's our highest moment in COVID. Like for everything's starting to get back to normal now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's getting the vaccine. Like we're in the recovery stage right now. I mean, the lowest was like all the time. You know, it was like I remember I was talking to my basically my aunt and John, and we were basically having a little family reunion, and like we were just like, man, are we gonna make this? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like me and John always talk about it. We always talk about worst case scenarios, like what happens when this happens, you know? Like what is the
Yeah.
worst case scenario to happen to us? And then for us it's like zero cash flow. And then
Mm-hmm.
the zero cash flow, then that would make us into bankruptcy. We would just talk like the truth, you know, because if you try to hide from the truth, then you won't go anywhere else, you know. So we mentally prepare ourselves. We did something about it right before like we were near of bankruptcy. So uh, yeah, it was tough. It was a tough year for us, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that has to be very, very, very tough. So when you said something very important. You said during COVID you was thinking about the business so much and that you forgot about yourself. So what decision did you make when you was isolating from everybody else? What decision did you take to be like, hey, let me just leave this restaurant life alone and let me focus on myself because I'm depressed, I'm isolated, I'm not talking to anybody, and I'm not having fun right now.
Yeah. So like um honestly, like I just wanted to like because since my business wasn't growing, I
Mm-hmm.
needed to grow, you know? Like
Yeah.
it was one or the other, because you just can't stay still, man, right? You
No.
just can't stay still, especially if you're like you're in your low. You can't stay still. So what I decided was like, you know what? let me get in shape. Let me start working out. Let me change my eating habits. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just let me change everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically like what I thought of like working on myself.
Okay, that's tough. I like that. That's great because sometimes a lot of people would turn into substance use. You feel me? So some people be like, "Hey, man, there's nothing that I can't do." I'm thinking that working out might be too hard or working out might be too much. Somebody probably have never ever worked out a day in their life, so they're like, "I don't know what I do, but I can go pick this bottle up real quick, or I can, ask a friend or so, let me do some drugs or do whatsoever just to escape the pain or get rid of the pain away from me." But that's good. So Friday night, Saturday night, how do you deal with drunk people, man? Somebody coming knocking at your window and asking, "Let me get a burrito." How you deal with those folks?
I mean, I'm at this point I'm used to it, man, and sometimes yeah, show the drunk people some love. You know what I'm saying? You just can't
Yeah,
like be a total dick and just make them run away. Because
yeah,
sometimes
fact.
they do remember, and I just treat them like a regular customer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
with the respect, and then if they're doing like a huge a thing, I would talk to them serious, put them to the side or something like that. But the
Yeah.
majority of the time, they're cool about it. They're just hyped up. But I love my drunk people, man.
And one of the things that I love about your restaurant is that your food is literally so good that people do not mind the wait time. You feel? Because I remember I was standing in line, right? I was standing in line, and there was so many people that was there, and people just having normal conversation, but the wait time, it wasn't necessarily the wait time was so long, but it was like so many orders, and people knew like, hey, I can't just say let me leave the line or let me leave whatever because I'm tired of waiting. But people know like the quality of the food that you guys are providing is so good. Were you aware of that? That people be, like, hey, I can't wait 10, 15 minutes because I know how good this taco, this burrito is, or this quesadilla about to be.
Yeah, man. I mean, like for me, like our niche is to like our niche is mostly when you go out with a couple of friends, go out get
Yeah.
some drinks, and then
Exactly.
we're like the after party, you know what I'm saying? Like when the party's done, you come to Rubens and you enjoy a nice burrito, quesadilla, whatever you feel like eating. But we're basically the after party where everybody goes after the bars close. Everybody hangs
Mm-hmm.
out. Honestly, uh, if you wait 15 minutes, those 15, you only feel those 15 minutes, man. You're either talking to strangers or
Mm-hmm.
like you're just having a good time with your friends in the waiting time. It's a good time, especially when everybody's in the same ambiance as you. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's I like it, man. That's basically what our brand is about. It's the nightlife, the after party.
Right, definitely. Yeah. So, when you about to hire somebody, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you look into a new, somebody that want to work for you guys?
I mean, I honestly look for people that are genuinely good people. They genuinely work hard. You know, um, basically how they grew up. Like and mostly those are key factors that I look for. Because what I
Yeah.
care about the most is sweat equity. Before I can
Mm-hmm.
pay you, are you willing to go through these tough moments like us, like during COVID and stuff like that? Like, are you
Mm-hmm.
willing to go through our basically our beginning stages, because we're in beginning stages, and like eventually we want a franchise.
Yeah.
Yep. So like we're
Okay.
basically
Dope. I like that.
honestly, anybody that joins our staff has potential of growing within the company. So like that's how I see it. because I not only just want to be in Baltimore, but eventually we want to go to Towson, like Columbia,
Mhm.
whatever it is. Like we have big goals, man.
That's always it. Like you say, you don't like being static. That's what's up. That's what's up. So what say for an example, not even that. The jerseys, man. I need one of them Ruben jerseys. I didn't see them
Yo,
jerseys. Them
yeah,
jerseys are tough, bro.
I got you, man. I got you. The
I see
next,
the whole squad. Is that for the team, or is that for your indoor team, or that just something that you just wanted to do?
I mean, it's mostly for our indoor team because we
Yeah,
won the third division championship. I think like 2 seasons ago, and
yeah.
like we've been wanting to win that for the longest. Like it's been like a total of 2 years we wanted to win it, and then honestly, getting some jerseys is finally like a reward for us to like wear
Yeah.
them, you know.
Oh man, that's good though. I love it. I love it. I saw them jerseys when AJ had it. I'm like, yo, where you get this from? Then he showed me the front. I was like, Rubens. I was like, yo, y'all done stepped up. Y'all done, went to a whole nother different level. I like that. Now, tell me sometimes, right? Like two of you guys running the business. How do you guys communicate? How do you guys go about scheduling? How do you guys go about who work what day, and then who carry the most of the load to somebody else? Say like, hey, you don't have to do this. I can carry 60-40, or is it everything that you and Johnny do is 50-50?
Okay, so I remember the day I came up to John, right? Because I'm always the one coming
Yeah.
up to John. I'm like, yo, John, yo, I learned this something new because I always listen to podcasts and like audio books and just
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurial stuff, you know. So I came up to John. I was like, yo, John, um, like we have to do an organizational chart. It's basically the little brackets of like
Yeah.
the hierarchy of a business. Basically
Yeah.
like the CEO, like the different positions like COO, the chairman, all that
Yes.
stuff like that.
CEO, CFO, and all those. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I came up to John. I was like, John, we had to treat our business like if it was a big business, because if we
Mm-hmm.
don't treat it as a big business as early on, we will never get to be a big business before. And
Yeah.
then at that day I was like, because I have no idea what the fuck a CEO does or a CFO does, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
just the fact that you label yourself as like somewhere in the chart, you basically take responsibility of what you need to do. Basically, everyone knows what their job is, you know? That's
Yeah.
a very
Everybody know what the
important.
job description is. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like the role, it just in identifying like what your role is just clears up a lot of the things that you need to do, like I'm the CEO and John's the CFO because John, his strong side is finances. He knows
Yeah.
all the numbers, you know what I'm saying, like how to cut costs and stuff like that, inventory, like anything with legal processing, like taxes with the IRS. He deals with that. And then for me, I take care of like the new upcoming ideas, the marketing side of it, like
Mm-hmm.
basically how to keep this business growing, what's our next
Yeah.
investments. Because if I want to invest in the business, I need to go through John first because
Yeah.
I can't, because for me, I love to invest, man. I love to invest in my business to make it grow even more. But if the numbers don't make sense, John will let me know, and then I mean, for me and John, it's not always pretty, like we always, sometimes we argue with each other too. And like sometimes we even box each other,
Yeah.
yeah, because we're fighters, man. We're wrestlers. He taught me how to wrestle in high school too. So like we go at
Yeah.
it sometimes, man. but guess what? We love each other to the death. So
Nah, that's dope, though. That's good. I like that. And one of the most beautiful things is chemistry and how do people see themselves. You feel me? Because sometimes you might want a bigger role than what you can handle, and then that
Yeah.
can really, you know, break up the company. Or you might believe that, hey, my role is too small, and then everybody know that your role is too small, and you know, in your capacity and what you have in your arsenal is you can do so many other things. Like you say, your strong suit is design and coming up with ideas, want to invest there, want to invest there, want to, like, you want to literally touch every single thing. And then Johnny over there, him little self with the numbers looking at you like, no, not that one.
Yeah.
No, not that one. But
Yeah.
okay, yes, that one right there. That I can definitely see guys, because I know y'all got a delivery truck, right?
Yeah, we got a nice little van. We got it like around 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like it was last year, but COVID, it was like 2020. It was last year.
I gotta say, man, nobody even count 20. It doesn't even sound or feel like a year in the calendar. I think it
Yeah,
was just like one. It was just like one big gap from 19 till 21. Even though we still in the pandemic, but it just feel like it was a whole. We just leaped 1 year ahead. So
yeah.
how is the van processes and how's it going?
The van. I mean, right now it's doing what it needs to do. I think like we go ahead and do the catering. We work with like hospitals, like
Yeah.
mostly right now John Hopkins. We work with University of Maryland. Like when we like first started. Yeah, like that's mostly what we use the van for. And
Yeah.
then yeah, man.
That's cool. Who get to drive the van?
What's that?
I said, who get to drive the van?
Oh, anybody, man. Anybody, man. Anybody. I mean, I personally get tired of driving, man. But
Yeah, you
if
do.
any, yeah, man. Yeah, cause but right now mostly who's driving is the most is our manager Quan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I got you. So, what was the longest hours you have worked in a day in at Rubens?
man. Um, the longest hours was when we first started. Um,
Yeah.
I'll be pulling in like maybe honestly sometimes it'll be like especially in the weekends. I used to hate weekends, man,
Yeah.
because I remember I used to have the other restaurant that I ended up
Uh-huh.
selling off.
Mhm.
We had that restaurant and Ruben's at the time. The other restaurant was like a more of a morning restaurant. We will
Mhm.
open up like at 8 in the morning, right? And then after that, we will close around 9. And then I'll head to Ruben's. I'll bring all the inventory because we didn't have too much inventory at the time. So I would carry it from the other restaurant
Yeah.
to Ruben's, and
Wow.
then I'll work at Ruben's until night until we close, basically around 3 in the morning. We will close at 3 in the morning,
Mhm.
and then we will open up. No, we will have to clean up and stuff like that, like around 4
Yeah,
in the
that's
morning. So it's basically maybe like I'll put in like 21 hours in a
oof.
day in the weekends, man. It would just suck, man. And like I remember it was a Thursday, like
Yeah.
it was a Thursday. We only made $40, and I put in like probably like 20 plus hours
Damn.
in a shift, just for 40
Mhm.
bucks, man. And like honestly, uh this shit's hard, man. It's hard at the beginning, and it's still
Yeah, the
hard to this
beginning
day. But
stages.
like,
Do you have days when you wake up where you just, I mean, everybody has those days, but do you feel like some days it's like, man, I don't even want to get up. I just want to lay in bed. And you call Jonathan and you be like, hey, Johnny, can you cover for me? Or can you call an extra staff?
I mean, in the beginning, I was so hungry, man. I was so hungry. that didn't cross my mind sometimes. I mean, sometimes I would oversleep maybe like 30 minutes, but I knew I had to
Yeah.
get up and go for it. Now it's like more of a mental game. It's more like, I guess, like a higher level of stress. And
Mhm.
and there I do have days like I'm just like, fuck, I do not wanna like work. I don't wanna deal with the stress or anything like that. But one thing I've learned is that you gotta show up, man. No matter what, you have to show up.
No matter what, you write on down. We have to show up. I mean, it has your names on it there. So if you don't show
Yeah,
up, who is gonna keep running the business? You feel me? So yeah,
yeah.
that's that's a strong suit. So right now, you're in your 20s, mid 20s. What would you tell 19-year-old Ruben that just graduated high school yesterday?
Alright. um, I'll tell myself, um, keep going. Don't listen to anybody, and especially to your close ones. Don't listen to
Mm-hmm.
anybody, because your closest ones can be the ones that hurt you the most. So
Yeah.
just block all those negative thoughts and just go for it, and keep doing you. You will eventually find find a way to the light. You know.
You'll get there. You will get there some way, somehow. So this,
Yeah.
right here, right? Before we end this, this is a new segment that I just starting it, and I'm gonna start it off with you today. So before every end of podcast, I ask you three different things, and you tell me from a scale of 1 to 0, where do you rank, and then just give like why you chose that number, right? So how are you? Number one is how are you mentally?
You said like a scale from 1 through 10, right?
Yeah, how are you mentally?
Mentally, right now, I'm like I'm a solid 8 right now.
Solid 8. Okay, why
Yep.
are you a solid 8?
Um, because I'm in the progress of becoming a 10. Um,
Yeah.
I'm right now I'm like I just have to get I'm in the recovery stage right now. Like like
Mm-hmm.
right now I'm building up to that 10, and then building my foundations before I get to like that basically optimal mindset, that basically that relentless mindset. That's where I ideally want to be.
Exactly. That's dope. I like that. And then how are you financially?
Financially, man, on the books, I'm like I'm decent, but honestly, I have to put on myself that I'm broke all the time, man. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm I'm
So
I'm
so
broke
you're
right now.
one. So you're one financially.
Huh?
I say so you're one financially.
Yeah, right now for
But I
me,
mean,
I'm broke. I'm broke,
okay,
right?
so okay, we're gonna put a question mark on that one. That's
Yeah.
gonna be our answer. and then and then lastly, like how you spiritually and how is your faith?
How am I spiritually? Honestly, uh, I, I I'm I knew, like, for me, I always look up to a God. It's
Mhm.
not attached to any religion or anything like that, but I do believe there's a God out there. And I always, when I basically, I can't look up to anybody or anything like that. My only
Mhm.
option is God. And when I'm at my lowest point, the only faith I have is basically between Him and me. That's it. And like
Yeah.
at the lowest points, that's all you can think about. Like, you if you got no one else to look up to, you have God. And that's what I believe in. And then my faith has really improved in tough times. And that's
Mhm.
what basically why I am spiritually, because I'm Mormon, but I
Yeah.
haven't been to church or anything like that. But I do have my moments where I do my praise, like and stuff like that.
Got you. Got you, man. I love that. That's pretty dope, man. Yeah. That's something that, like you said, that's something between you and the higher up. No one else can say anything, or no one else can come in between you and that. As long as you have a strong suit with it, nobody can say anything. So let the people, I like to call it free plug and free game. So go ahead, plug yourself. Where people can find Rubens.
I mean, you can find Rubens at Fed Hill at 1043 South Charles Street. And also, like, we make our own hot sauce, our own signature hot sauce. We sell it across the United States. I honestly recommend trying it if you haven't tried it. If you're a fan of hot sauce, coming down into the restaurant, DM me, whatever it is. My Instagram is Fueled by Burritos. And, and yeah, DM me if you want to try the hot sauce. Let me know. I'll take care of you.